481-0111. But better yet, drop by soon. Basic Finance, located at 308 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right across from Shelby High School. Remember, golf on Saturday, church on Sunday. That's Basic Finance in Shelby.
Have you got a ping, pang, ding going on with your car or truck? Then take it to A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. A-Plus Automotive does all types of automotive repairs, from tune-ups to oil changes and complete diagnostic work. And they are a North Carolina inspection station with over 30 years of experience. See A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. They also do AC and heater repair. Get her running today with a stop at A-Plus Automotive, 1900 Elizabeth Avenue in Shelby. See Charlie Heston today or call 704-482-0441 for A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. Pegram Insurance Services in Shelby is now All Care Insurance Services, and they invite you to see their newly remodeled office and talk with them about your insurance needs. If that's too far away from you, they have an All Care Insurance location in both Gastonia and Belmont areas. All Care Insurance has strived to be the best by providing quality insurance coverage with great commitment to customer service. Whether you do coverage for your home, auto, business, life, or something more, their experienced agents are there to help you. Visit one of their convenient locations, 220 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, 4515 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia, and 7005 Suite E, Wilkinson Boulevard in Belmont. That's All Care Insurance Services. If you feel like you're having a Mac attack, then buzz on over to Barnett's Beehive Restaurant on Highway 180 North Post Road in Shelby. For over 45 years, the Barnett family has been serving delicious food to Shelby and Cleveland County residents. Over 20 different sandwiches to choose from. And at lunch, select from 2 specials with 7 different meats and 12 different vegetables to choose from, plus their selection of fish too. And breakfast is served all day long. Barnett's Beehive Restaurant, open 8 to 7 Monday through Friday. For orders to go, call 704-482-3746. Has your old heating and air conditioning system been giving you trouble? Have no fear. Bill Shuford Heating and Air is here, and they service all makes and models. Just call 704-484-0025. Bill Shuford Heating and Air has been Cleveland County's leader in home comfort since 1983, featuring American Standard heating and air conditioning systems. Visit them online at BillShufordHVAC.com. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby.
You hear them pads going click, 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 click. You hear them clicks going 704 beats by Alex J. Yeah. First and 10, when you in the trenches, you like the water cooler, you on the benches. Think your team better, but relax. First snap, I leave your backs in the backfield. The quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Set that receiver in motion, that's just in the sky. My linebackers, they stepping up. Block a hole, no letting up. Taking on them big blocks. My fourth down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. The offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Special teams don't punt the ball and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm thrown like a Lear jet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. I'll come out and fire off the ball. We going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option. That mean I got the option. Let's keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. Full receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end, so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score 6, scoreboard, that score 6. Protect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw pitch. I feed my linemen pancakes. So all they blocks are pancakes. Push you around like all night. End of the game, get your handshakes, huh? My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We just came to win. Friday night.
Hey, how about I turn you on there, Dennis?
Well, you don't
I did it-
exactly
I-
turn me on,
I
but
did it on purpose so Dennis couldn't, so I could introduce the show. Good evening, everybody. It's football season. Terry's here, Calvin's here, Andre's here, Will Boykin's coming in the house, JP's here, Dennis Davis is here. It's Happy First
You're
Friday.
here.
I'm here, Kevin Hasty.
the boys are back in town.
It's Happy First Friday, folks. I woke up feeling a little dangerous this morning, Dennis.
Ooh, you must be a Cleveland Browns
Feeling a
fan.
little bit like Baker Mayfield. A lot of teams feeling dangerous tonight. More dangerous was the weather, apparently. Some games, only a few got started on time, started early and stayed going. We've got a few scores that have come into the house. But other than that, most games are still actually going on right
That's
now.
because of
Dennis.
the late starts. Over at Crest, they started at 8 o'clock tonight.
Mhm.
I understand some of the others started as late as 8:30, so that's a change. And I want to apologize ahead of time, Kevin. I got in that rain over at the World Series, got some sinus, all that drainage, so if I sound bad, I'm taking a pass on that.
I went over to Gardner Webb tonight to see the first half of the Bulldogs and Mountaineers.
How was that over there playing in the college stadium?
It was a nice, wonderful atmosphere as you could expect.
Maybe we should play more games over there, like playoff games.
That would be nice. I think Kings Mountain showed that how strong they are.
Yes.
Because, you know, as whatever score that Burns ends up putting up on the scoreboard, folks, their defense tonight was smothering on Kewan Pryor and the Burns defense. I was there for the first half. I don't even remember the Bulldogs running more than like 10 plays.
Well, if you can
Like Kings Mountain had the ball the whole time.
if you can smother Kewan and Sweezy, you've got some pretty quick athletes that are reacting.
Well, and I think one thing, Dennis, and I think Burns coming into the season had concern with how deep their line was.
Of course.
And I was telling people and telling them, we talked about before the season, this team could start 0-3, 0-4, even because of the line issues, and then just go on a run because they're going to be facing teams where their line matches up well with them in the 2A, as opposed to, yes, they're used to the line issues against Kings Mountain and Crest, but once they get into this 2A conference, I think that might change.
It sounds like the Shelby game plan each year.
Yeah.
Start off, take your lumps, get better,
Yeah.
and then move on. And I think from what I saw tonight, I think that's what's going to happen with South Point and Crest. They're using the Shelby model. They're starting off needing some work for these young kids who are inexperienced. They're going to get better, both teams, and as they settle into the season, then they'll become much more potent, particularly in the 2A with South Point.
Right.
I see them finishing maybe ahead of Burns in that division, with Shelby obviously being the number one team there.
I think it's a toss-up on South Point Burns, honestly. And as well as anyone else does, it's going to be an execution thing on Burns' end. Because I think Burns
Injuries.
I think Burns will have the potential to I think Pryor will have more running room on them than he did the Kings Mountain Mountaineers tonight. The Mountaineers are one of the best teams in the state of North Carolina.
Yes, they're potential state champion. So our friend
Burns are too, actually. They did beat the defending 2A state champions last year, Dennis. Did they not? Did they still have with that team? That team took Burns as quarterback and their wide receiver. Won the
Sure
state,
not.
got beat by Burns, and Burns replaced him, has everybody back. And so Burns, they win they go into a state championship, I would not be surprised at all.
Well, I think Burns will make the playoffs, and they will do well because we were talking the other night at the Jamboree.
Yes, I
Kevin.
said win, Nelson, if you aren't listening.
Yeah. What we said,
Somebody knocked-
Tom Cinefani and Matt Royster, what we said the other night is being in the 2A, the advantage is not the regular season. Because they're still playing Kings Mountain. They're still playing Crest.
Right.
But once they get into conference and they play some other teams that we won't mention, and then, if you finish third in that conference and you go to some team that was number one in their conference, would you want to see a Burns or a South Point or somebody of that caliber coming to play at your place?
Well, for example, and since they split up the 2As and they split up everybody into too little, too big, West Lincoln was on the end of. They feel like they got, and I even will use the word, they feel like they got screwed last year in it because in 1 minute they're in one 2A bracket and having a possible home game, and then the next minute they move to the other 2A, pushes them all the way back into 11 seed or 12 seed, and they have to go to Shelby.
Yeah.
That's not even a close to the same thing. Like, you either get a home game, you earned a home game for one of your best season ever, or you have to go to Shelby in the first round, and we all know what that means. And yes, you got to beat who you play, and yes, they may have had to play Shelby on down the road, but they earned a better, I thought, situation than that. But that's where Burns will find themselves this year, in that spot there in the 2 and 3 hole, maybe in that 2A. And Dennis, if you're a weak 2A team in the first round hosting that, it could be Q1 Pryor's going to run all over somebody.
That's what I'm saying. You go to we won't name any particular team, but say a team that wins in their little division, which is not all that strong, and then you got Burns or South Point or somebody of that nature coming in to play you, even though it's a home game.
What's up, Drew?
You better step. Oh, wait a minute. The man is here. Will Boykins, the legend, has arrived at the studio. Will?
The man, the myth, the legend, Will Boykins.
I don't know if I didn't know if you could hear that, Will, because you didn't have your headsets on. But somebody let JP have access to the microphone in there, and it was.
It's scary when that happens. It's very scary.
Folks, if you're listening on the radio, some quick announcements. We still got Cherryville is still on right now against Christ the King in the second half. Cuz running all over him, boss. Cuz putting on, got 3 touchdowns and 100 yards in the first half, Will. So, putting it on Christ the King.
Hey, isn't this the first game ever for Christ the King?
I'm not sure, Dennis. So
Be careful there.
No, I
Kevin.
think they played a few.
I mean, there's a day coming.
This might be their first. I think this is their first year in their conference. They have had teams before, because I do remember
they weren't in
the
the
past. Yeah.
They weren't in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Just be careful, because remember, someday every knee will bow to Christ the King.
Someday Andre might pick the Q Foundation, beat Crest. That's true,
But not necessarily this one, right?
Right. Not today, right? Not today. Yeah, folks, if you're
Can I get an amen, Reverend Boykins?
If you're listening in Shelby and Lincoln Town tonight, don't forget you can watch as well on YouTube. You can see us all on YouTube. We all got our little cameras. Will, you're over there on that. Dennis, you're up here.
Okay.
I'm down here and wave at our folks.
Spy cams in here.
You got spy cams. Hey, Will, we've got the group cam up here under Tyler Hansbrough, if you want to wave up there to the group cam up there. And then when we get the wires run, we've got our action cam here to put on our scoreboard and show everybody Terry changing the scores. If you've been watching online already, Terry's hat has been in the group cam up here the whole time.
Is that an NC State hat by chance?
No, it's a West Lincoln hat. So if you're watching online, you've just seen a West Lincoln hat. Looks like it's floating through the air. Terry's head is under that somewhere, but he's getting the scores up. Will, late starts everywhere, Bob.
Late starts everywhere, but good football everywhere. Other than, Kings Mountain is just dominant.
Shelby smoked Freedom.
Shelby smoked Freedom. Any word from Lincoln County on the
North Lincoln was postponed till tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Lincoln last night was lightning delayed to death to the point where one of the reporters said, "I'm going to get a beer, but this time."
And what kind of beer do you drink?
It wasn't me. I was listening and watching online. That game will resume Monday at 6 o'clock, and then
looked like Lincoln was. From what we saw Friday night at the Jamboree to where they at third quarter in that game and at 7-7, it looked like they've rebounded a little bit and they're playing a little bit better ball.
Well, Coach Joe is going to make them better. Again, it's a new coach, new system, new kids, and we saw that over at Crest and South Point. 2 storied programs, but they're having to start all over. So many kids graduated. They got new kids that are inexperienced. They're plugging and playing.
Right.
But I told Kevin earlier, this is going to be like the old Shelby teams. They start maybe sometimes not playing and executing exactly good. But then as the season goes on, they get better. And I predict that both of these teams, as they move through the season and get experience for those younger players, that they will be much more of a threat than they currently are right now. They won't be the same team you saw tonight.
No.
Either one of them.
I don't think they were the same team, but I'm hoping the coach has seen some different things tonight in the Crest game, especially on the Crest side of the ball, on their offensive side of the ball, and their defensive side of the ball. I think we got a lot of players going both ways.
Oh, we got things to do
Have a
and
lot of
changes to
cleaning up
make.
to do over
But the question at this point with a bunch of inexperienced kids is, who do you replace them with?
I mean, I'm sure there's kids that are inexperienced, but you can't be so locked down and scared to play some of these other kids to see who you can go to, because high school football, you have injury, so you're going to have to give some of these other kids a shot. Because everybody's at this point, all the kids you got are inexperienced.
Well,
so and you gotta get game time situation to see who's going to step up.
Well, it's like South Point tonight. Let's give them credit. Their starting quarterback is no longer, I don't think, on the team. The second quarterback who played tonight injured his wrist, and the third string quarterback, which is wide receiver that's going to UNC, he was looking dapper on the sidelines in a pair of black shorts over there.
Yeah, and they had some injuries, but the meat of their offense was there. I mean, number 30 is who they gonna feed, but they was gonna feed them the ball.
You're saying they're going to give the ball to the fullback?
They're gonna give the ball to the fullback.
Shocked, I tell you, Will.
We know that's the meat of their offense, and
but does our defense
surprising that they have a D1 receiver.
Who would believe it? South Point has a D1 receiver.
South Point has a D1 receiver, but it's a lot of things that's got to be. It's a lot of kinks all over the field, everywhere. Even Shelby having a performance they got a lot of kinks.
They got.
It's some rust to get knocked off.
They're like West Lincoln, Terry. They just reload over there, don't they?
You mispronounced decoy. South Point has a Division I decoy that stands out at wide receiver because they're not throwing that ball at
Right. They're not throwing the ball. Lucky enough for Greer. He's been to some camps and got noticed.
Okay, Robbie goes. He said something about them having two wideouts, and it was the thread out there. And I just texted him. I said, "Your son, running camera right now, is guarding those two right now."
Yeah. I was watching their coverage, and I think I heard him reply to it. He said it's.
Well, speaking of
as a wide receiver, I've run into those offenses, and you just like, why am I even out here? Y'all put the kids out here that don't play much and let them go out there and pretend that they're not going to get the ball.
You're like a cootie. You didn't hustle down the line.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I was like, let somebody else play. I'll hit somebody on defense or something. I'll face mask or somebody. If you're watching online, right behind Will, folks, we've got our new board behind Will, and that's our new top. Some of them wasn't even in the show anyway, so we've got them in the show now where you can actually see them. So we're going to rearrange the rankings here in a little bit in the What's Up Shopper rankings. Folks, we've just got scores barely coming in right now. We're about to give you a few in just a moment. There's only about 5 finals right now, and scores of teams across the area are still playing because of the weather and lightning delays. Real quick, Dennis. Go ahead, Dennis.
We do have a final on Tommy Knott's down at Dutch Fork and Mallard Creek playing in Columbia tonight. Dutch Fork 27, Mallard Creek 20. So pretty good showing there for Mallard Creek. Of course, they're always loaded, but when you get Tommy Knott's at a home game, it's in the third quarter.
It ain't over yet.
It ain't over yet. Tommy will run. Hey, Tommy will take care of that. That'll be 47 before you know it. We have a little history with Tommy, don't we?
Just a little bit.
As a matter of fact, we give Tommy a little spanking one time. We won't get into that.
It's a little bit of history there.
Will, why don't you hit those scores that we do have up there?
In the third quarter, game that was played yesterday will resume on Monday. You got Lincoln at 7 and Stuart Kramer at 7, tied in the third quarter. We'll resume on Monday. You got Crest beating South Point 13-7. You got Shelby over Freedom 41-13. Let's see that Cherryville and Christ the King are still playing right now.
North Lincoln Saturday.
North Lincoln play at 6 p.m. Saturday. We got North Buncombe over Patton 62-20.
Ooh. Patton is still Patton, I hear.
They're trying. We got West Henderson over East Rutherford 56-42. And we got RS Central over McDowell 20-12. We got Pine Lake Prep 46. Quality Education Academy. Are you serious? They had 0.
How can you have quality education and have a 0?
Well, quality education and football don't go together.
Hey.
That's a bit insulting in my opinion, and I don't even like football, but that's a little insulting if you ask me.
Forward your student athletic letters to Will. He'll get you in a good school for if you want to play football.
Think there any D1 guys over at Quality Education?
God. Are you saying that the football players at North Carolina, UNC Chapel Hill, did not get a quality education?
No, I'm not saying that at all. They're not saying that at all.
Oh, okay.
No, they all transferred out.
All their credits did to Gaston or
No, the
Cleveland?
players.
Oh, okay.
They lost another quarterback.
Did you get through those scores?
I got through the score.
I'm gonna get another score here in a few minutes. One of our friends and family folks from around the area works down at Burns High School now in South Carolina, and he always gives me some scores and notes from there. Philip Russ called earlier today.
Yeah.
His team won in South Carolina. I know I'm going to get the score wrong. It's 26-7, something like that, to 7. They had a big game down there. Nice place he's at right now. Speaking of nice, Bessemer City just added their a new scoreboard over there.
Yeah.
Dennis.
Who kicked in the money for that? Is that Kevin Hastings scoreboard?
Well, I was over there taking pictures actually while they were putting it up. I wasn't there to take pictures; it just happened to be it. And the guy that he's a year older than me. His name is Jeff Wilson, and he was putting it up, and he was actually flying his drone around it while they were putting it up. So I'm sure he's got some pretty neat video that'll be on Facebook or wherever he's going to post it soon. And they've actually got replay capabilities and stuff like that with it. It's pretty. It's a like American Legion type style scoreboard going up over there at Bessemer.
So they got an ultra.
It's something like that. I didn't see the finished product. I got to get back over there here next week or so and check it out. But speaking of education, Dennis, I walked over there and elbowed him, and I said, Jeff, have y'all noticed the problem? And he said, what? And I said, you don't see the misspelling?
Oh, no.
Huh?
Oh, no.
There was a misspelling on the scoreboard.
Oh, no. Well, it is Bessemer City.
They spelled Kevin Hastings scoreboard, Linda Wilson scoreboard. Totally misspelled Kevin. I said, Jeff, that is not how you spell it. It's Kevin, not Lind. No, but his name's Linda Wilson. But he was scared there for a minute, and I was just playing with him. But yeah, it should be nice. Go check out a game. Cherryville will be at Bessemer to end the season there. We'll have that on live on YouTube, and I'll be out there that night. Just once this year, Dennis. Because the Christ the King tonight, because they joined the conference, that was the game tonight, the Bessemer game. So they only played once this year.
Oh, man. So the Battle of the Belt game is over.
No, it's once a year instead of twice a year.
I mean, you can't have the Battle of the Belt without 2.
We got Steve Degree on line 1.
Steve Degree giving a call. Hold on one second, Steve. Folks that are listening out there, we got a short show tonight, so callers, we may not have a segment for our fan callers, but Steve is one of our KTC folks giving us a call after the game. He's coming back from Morganton Freeman and Freedom. And Freeman. Who's Morgan Freeman? Morgan Freeman. Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah.
Hey, Steve, turn your radio down just a little bit and help out with that. There you go. Steve DeGree on the way back from Freedom. Shelby wins big, 41-13. Burke County doesn't allow video up there, Steve, and I guess a good thing for them. You guys put it on them. And so Shelby wins 41-13. We'll have you guys again next week on KTC. How'd it look from your side? I heard that was doing pretty good up front, Steve.
Well, fellas, it was a typical Shelby first game. Had a lot of penalties, like maybe 13, 14 penalties. But overall, sort of pleased what I saw. The defense flying around the football, and the offense executed, when they got the opportunity to. And the offensive line again, once again, took control. Who's the key to any game? Took control of the ball game. Omar Phillips. First start at the varsity football, had over 100 yards rushing and touchdown. Isaiah Best, I think he threw 3 touchdowns. They shot Christopher, probably was the leading tackle tonight from the safety spot, blocked the punt, and Jimmy Wishner recovered it for a touchdown. And I think by everybody that dress played, like some of the JV kids, the 8-quarter kids. So all in all, it's a good way to start. Coach Will Banks' first game out, and I know he was really happy to get that first win under his belt.
Coach Will Banks is undefeated.
He's undefeated as head coach.
Never lost a game.
Never lost a game as a head coach.
Oh, fellas, I really can't hear y'all.
We said he's undefeated right now, Steve. Coach Wilbanks is. My question was, have they already started printing the banners up to fire him yet, like they have in the past when the coach is doing pretty good?
Well, Coach, he's got big shoes to fill.
Yes, he does.
And I was talking to him before the game, trying to remember how many head coaches I went through, and I told him I'd be there to support him, just like I did all the rest of the coaches at Shelby High School.
Well, Steve, let me interrupt you here. I just got a text from our old buddy Sam Davis. He says Kevin's mic is the only one working properly, so you don't have to go make that hearing aid appointment.
Yeah, well, Dennis, you got to get closer. Dennis is sick, so he's got to get closer to make love to the mic a little bit more. We'll try. You guys get up in there like Barry White.
I think I hear static.
We got some static in our ears, so we're trying not to get too loud in our own ears. So we're working out some things here. But yeah, Dennis is a sick. Yeah, you just got to get close to the mic. I'll pump up your bass on you, Dennis, a little bit, so to help you out here in just a second.
I'm all about that bass.
Steve DeGree, tell us a little bit more about the Golden Lions' victory tonight.
Well, I just think that if we can keep on doing what we're doing, we'll be okay. We are, every game's not going to be perfect. So they gave us something to work on. We got a lot of defensive penalties. That one drive, I think they had a 65 yards of total offense, but we gave them 44 on the penalties. And that's something that we're going to work on. They was going on 2, but our defense is going on 1. And I just think they played, pretty hard, little cramps, and different stuff like that. But they'll be okay.
Well, Steve, I know you're big on Shelby this year, but what I'm really concerned with is about the chances for a championship caliber team over at Crest Middle School this year. Can you give me any insight on that?
Well, Dennis, you're trying to start something. I'm not even going to feed into that. I'm just as proud that OJ is the athletic director. And
you should be, Steve.
And I've been getting a lot of beef because, I support Shelby and he gets Coach of career.
Yeah.
But people realize there's one thing. If I'm helping the kids on this side of the camera and he's helping the kids on that side of the camera, look what we can accomplish together.
Okay.
Because it's all about the kids. It ain't about me and OJ.
No.
It's about the kids.
Well, we just have to give you a little hard time, Steve, because we know what a super Shelby fan you are. And just thinking that you have your son, who actually played at Crest, and then has come back to be athletic director and coaching at Crest Middle School, that is, that you still have your loyalty to Shelby. So I commend your loyalty and standing up for the team, your team that you support, and that's the Shelby Golden Lions.
I mean, it's not easy with the meter. You know, I've been put down a lot of time. But, you know, it's like this, Dennis. If you believe in something, you got to be loyal to it at all costs.
There you go, Steve.
And I'm a lawyer to Shelby, just like he's a lawyer to Crest.
Well,
but me and OJ, we don't make no big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
he's family.
OJ is OJ, and I'm still his father. So we want all y'all to come out Wednesday, though, and support the middle school jamboree at Shelby High School at 4 o'clock. And also want to let y'all know that we do have a new middle school coach at Shelby Middle School named Justin Bowden. Come out and support this young man. He's trying to get he's even put in the spread.
Are you working with him over there, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm just starting my 40th year of coaching.
There you go.
40 years.
Well, as the old country song said, Steve, you gotta stand for something or you'll fall for anything, and we know where you stand.
And that's right. And I'm just thank y'all guys for giving me the opportunity to work with y'all on Friday night.
All right.
And I really enjoy it.
It's about time for Bobby. Did he go to the game tonight?
I didn't see him. I'm not saying he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I didn't see him.
All right. Well, okay, Steve.
All right,
Appreciate
Steve,
the call.
Be careful and enjoy the show on the way back into town.
Yeah, I'm already in Cleveland County already.
Okay, Steve.
All right. Y'all guys have a good night.
Good night, Steve.
All
right, bye-bye.
Steve agreed with the Shelby Golden Lions broadcast team. Like I said, folks, may not have time for fan callers tonight. We'll let you know in just a little bit. We got to get through everything. We've got delays across the board, scores here. Let's give you what we got real quick. We're going to take a break in just a minute. Lincoln and Stuart Kramer was postponed after last night in the third quarter to Monday at 6 at 7-7. Crest squeaks by South Point 13-7. Kings Mountain dominates and burns over Gardner Webb 34-6. Kobe Pacehour, big night. Shelby 41-13 over Freedom. You just heard Steve Gree talking about them. Cherryville and Christ the King is still on right now on WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM in Cherryville. They were up 23-6 at halftime.
Is that Milton and Danny?
Yes, sir.
Is that going to last until about 2 o'clock or something?
It may. If they're on, it's going to. Yeah. North Lincoln and Parkwood, that has been moved up to tomorrow night at 6 p.m. We're going to try to have that on WLON 1050 AM. We should have it. Hunter Yancey and either myself or Jason Sane or someone's going to join Hunter down at Parkwood tomorrow. Highland Tech at East Burke waiting on that score. David's Community School of Davidson and North Moore waiting on that. South Lake Christian and Lake Norman Charter was postponed. That's been unnamed a future date. North Buncombe dominates Patton 62-20. Canceled tonight completely is Green Hope and Ashbrook. They will not play, will not make it up. West Henderson and East Rutherford. East Rutherford, they find themselves in more shootouts, I feel like, about any other team. They fall, though, in a game with 96 points in the game, 56-42. RS Central beats McDowell 20-12. West Lincoln dominates Strong 52-13. Dutch Fork beats Mallard Creek in the third quarter. Upper Mallard Creek in the third quarter 27-20. And Pine Lake Prep beats the Quality Education Academy 46-0. One fun stat from the Shelby game.
Just one?
One fun stat.
One.
Where is that? Hold on. Before you go to that fun stat,
don't-
where is Quality Education Academy at?
Well,
It's where you can find it.
well, Terry Reinhardt is in the next room, and hopefully in his magic book.
Well, I have a question. Where's Pine Lake Prep?
We'll look it up. So Shelby had 3 touchdowns tonight, 1 point wheel, and 1 first down. It was 21 to whatever it was. They had 3 touchdowns and 1 first down.
That means there was either a first or second play touchdown.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the Lions put him on them. All right, folks, it's time for a break.
Winston-Salem?
It's the Quality Education. I told you Terry would come up with it.
Thank you, sir.
Quality Education.
When in doubt,
You should
ask
know
Terry.
that. And now, Terry, what's their mascot? We get the
The computer.
We get the laughing from the other room. I might beat Terry to it. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We come back. I think we've got another caller, and we'll be back on Kate. We're gonna take a short, quick break, caller. We're gonna get reorganized real quick. We'll be back. Okay.
The Fighting
Pharaohs.
We'll be back on that one on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Here's the news. Blanton Cars in Shelby has moved. They have moved to their East Lot location at 1711 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Blanton Cars in Shelby is your original buy here, pay here dealership. Make your payments online by calling 704-481-0500 or check out their inventory at BlantonCars.com. Buy here, pay here at your original buy here, pay here dealer. That's Blanton Cars. Now at one location, 1711 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Is flooring in your refurbishing or building plans? Then see John Strickland at Bowling Springs Carpet and Tile, your full-service flooring center. John has quality brands such as Armstrong, Congolian, Mannington, and more. There's carpet by Mohawk, Shaw, Coronet, Galaxy, and many more. And you'll find hardwoods by Bruce and Hartco. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 9 to 1 on Saturday. Call 704-434-9019 or come by Bowling Springs Carpet and Tile, 137 North Main Street in Bowling Springs. Our prices will floor you.
This is not just another ad for insurance. It's an ad for the Brawley Insurance Agency in Shelby. The agents at the Brawley Insurance Agency in Shelby are special because they've been helping customers in Shelby for over 20 years. They can help protect what is important to you, from auto to home. So call the Brawley Insurance Agency today at 704-484-2680. Remember, Nationwide is on your side. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval. At Brown & Howell Cosmetic Dentistry in Shelby, their goal is to bring smiles to life. And by doing so, you get the best in dental care. Brown & Howell Dentistry serves all of your family needs, including implant services. And they participate in Cigna, Delta Dental, United Healthcare, and MetLife insurance companies. And senior citizens get a 10% discount, and it applies to a list of services, including invisible braces. Call 704-484-0611 for your appointment. Brown & Howell Cosmetic Dentistry, 1210 East Marion Street in Shelby. Before you buy that next set of tires, see CarPro on South Post Road in Shelby, right across from Ingles. CarPro now sells all brands of tires, including name brands like BF Goodrich, Michelin, and Cooper. And CarPro does alignments to make your ride extra smooth. And they do it all at CarPro, from an oil change to a tune-up and more. And get ready for winter weather with a heater checkup. Just call 704-466-3370. That's CarPro, 1520 South Post Road in Shelby, right across from Ingles. CarPro, like them on Facebook too.
And welcome back to the Renaldo Automo post-game show. I hope that was adequate. If it was not, I can try it again sometime. But, hey.
For your efforts, and we appreciate it. And Kevin, you got that red button over there.
Yeah, I got
dangerous.
I got the button.
You are dangerous, Kevin.
I can shut y'all up over here, so anytime.
That's the only way he can shut us up.
I can shut us all up. See, we'll all have to stop. Time, but we'll just keep.
Yeah, he took the power away from me. All I have control over is myself.
I can shut you up, but you still have power in there. You can shut me up in there too. I could do hit that button, Jay.
Yeah,
you got more power
true.
than anybody. You're the board op in there. Welcome back, everybody. Watching live on YouTube. Still waiting for a bunch of scores in there. If you're looking on the side, we're about to put up some scores in just a minute. We got a caller from the Crest game with some stats. Trey Albright, the stat man.
All right, the man.
Trey Albright.
Tell everybody, Trey, how Crest pulled this rabbit out of this hat, as South Point was, you can call it driving, but it's more like penalties. They got them down there in the zone, and then Crest ends up with a big win.
Yeah, guys, this win, I don't want to overstate it, but this is with this team, this certain Crest team, this is a huge, huge win. Anytime you beat South Point, it's big, but with the group of kids that they got now at Crest that are young and 10th graders playing, a lot of 10th graders are playing, and seniors and juniors, this win was special. It was a big win, and like you said, South Point was driving late in the game, fumbled the ball on about the 5-yard line. So Crest took over, and T.J. Ruff had a big run to bust open the the field
advantage and got on the other side of the 50, and then basically Chris ran the clock out after that.
Well, Trey, I think you are absolutely correct. This was a big momentum builder for the young Crest Chargers. Now that they've got this traditional rivalry game under their belt, they can start focusing a little bit more. I know they've got Reynolds and some other teams out of conference, but they can basically look at doing well with the traditional conference teams, even though Shelby and Burns are not in the conference now. But what did you see that you liked about this Crest team tonight?
Well, Dennis, I mentioned to Rob and Andy at the end, I said, when's the last time Crest threw it 20 times in a game?
Oh, yeah.
So the offense is going to open up. It's not the same offense that everybody's been seeing. I've been watching them through the scrimmages the last couple of weeks, and they've gotten better each week. They have speed in the skills positions, and they're pretty fast. They got DJ Fuller at quarterback, TJ Ruff playing some quarterback. They're two very capable quarterbacks. Very interchangeable. They both can do everything that you ask them to do. You got great wide receivers. I know Eli Brooks, he caught only 2 passes tonight, but Dennis, I'm telling you, the one pass he caught was about a 9-yard catch, and that was probably the biggest play of the game for Chris to keep the chains moving. It was on a 3rd down, about 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and he made a huge catch to get them a first down to keep the drive going. So they had 4 or 5 different receivers tonight. So it's spreading the ball around. Jalen, he was a workhorse that second half, Dennis. First half wasn't much, but the second half they came out and the offensive line put their will on South Point and wore them down. And, Jalen was running wild there for a minute, and he had a really good series and ended up with a touchdown at the end. He had over 100 yards tonight, 101, I believe. DJ Fuller had 156 yards passing, so kind of even out. And I think they had 300, Crest had 322 total yards. So, the defense hung in there. They had a lot of kids playing both ways. Crest, was getting tired. Kids are cramping up, but, they showed a lot of grit, a lot of determination, a lot of fight, and the stop at South Point down there at the 5, that was huge because it looked like South Point was going in for the score there late in the game. But, like I said, it's a big confidence booster for this team, especially as young as they are, to get a win over a good program like South Point, great program like South Point. That's priceless right now with this team.
Well, Trey, I made a statement earlier, and you may not have been tuned in at that particular time. And pardon my cough, I mentioned that earlier too. I see this team and South Point as well as a lot like Shelby teams in the past. They start out and they progressively get better and better and better as they progress through their schedule, and to where it comes playoff time, they're a tough out and you don't want to play them. I think these Crest Chargers, as they mature and get experience, and you find some kids, in practice that you can plug in at a position and not have to go both ways so much, will make this club a lot stronger. And it may be some kids even that are on the JV team like that uprising young center that they've got on the team over there for the JVs. That's Trace.
It's they're not very deep. Crest is not, but they've got some kids that they're going to give you all they got, every play, every game. It's they're going to be asked to play both ways, and you saw that tonight. And they stepped up to the plate, and they were getting pushed back on that last drive that South Point had, but they Coach Hayes called a timeout. It was a great timeout. Perfect timing. The next play he fumbles the ball. So, it was timing, and they're going to be asked to do a lot. And like you said, I've told people all through the offseason, this team might start off slow. Slow meaning they might have to get their feet underneath them, but I think as the year goes on, you're going to see them get better, and by playoff time, they're going to be ready to go.
Well, Trey,
so this is a great starting point.
Trey,
anytime you beat South Point, that's just. It's hard to do. I don't care who was out. I don't care who's playing. No. It don't matter. And they are tough no matter who they have out there. And these sophomores are going to keep playing more and more, and soon they're going to be playing. They're going to be basically juniors out there at the end of the year playing, and they've played so much. And these guys that they got pulled up from the 10th grade and the 11 and the ones that are juniors, they're not bad players. They are great players. They've got a lot of talent.
Just
Some of them 10th graders won a middle school championship and went undefeated in the JV conference last year. So they know about winning, and they've won at about every level they've been at. So them winning is not going to be an if. It's just a matter of when.
Trey, one of the things I'd like to congratulate with this group is, and I know, not knocking any teams or anybody, but in the past sometimes when they got into a tough situation like that, they didn't come through and pull out the victory. And I have to give a tip of the hat to this group tonight that they sucked it up and did what they needed to do to get the victory.
Yeah, and it's good to see. It's great to see, Dennis, especially with the young team. I keep going back that they're young, and they are young. I mean, they lost 27 seniors last year, and they're playing a lot of 10th graders and a lot of juniors that didn't play last year and didn't get a lot of play time. But they're asking a lot of people to step up, and for that to happen the way this game happened tonight, it's great to see. And the kids are fired up. Coach Eddings was fired up at the end. He knows how big this win is. Anytime they get a win against South Point, it's huge. So, South Point's going to be in the thick of things at the end of the year, like they always are. They're going to be a force in that conference. And, the Shelby and Burns will have to deal with them. So, it's good to see them win. It's good to see the kids, the fruits of their labor paid off tonight, and the hard work in the off season starts to pay off tonight. But they got to, they got some things to clean up. They had a couple penalties. I think they had like 6 to 8 yards of penalties that will clean up. But in 3 turnovers, they'll have to clean that up. But there's enough there for Coach Eddings to go back and the coaching staff to work on it. Have fun on the win, but be ready to go Monday morning or Monday afternoon after school, and we'll get ready for TC now.
Do you know if we came out okay injury-wise?
I think we're pretty healthy. I know Jalen Graham took a shot there near the end, but I think he was fine. As far as health-wise, I think we're good on the health front. As far as I know, I didn't see anybody out there that was. I think a lot of cramps were going on tonight, but that's expected with the heat and humidity they got out there tonight.
Yeah. Well, Trey Wilborg, because I was on to talk to you. I was watching the game, and I seen at the end of the game they had played Tank Jackson in the middle a lot, and then at the end of the game he wasn't in there. That was my concern. Was he injured, or he's just cramping up on the sideline? What was going on with that?
Oh, who's that?
Tank Jackson.
Oh, I think he got ejected.
Ejected
in the game tonight. He got 2 personal fouls tonight, so we'll see how that comes about. I don't know what happened. I wasn't really paying attention, so I couldn't tell you what happened, but I think he was taken out of the game.
Now, does that make him ineligible for the next game?
That was a good. Well, we were talking about that tonight. There's a difference between ejection and disqualification, but I don't know which one. I think the disqualification means you can't play the next week. So we'll see how they handle that and see what comes of that. But I hate it for the young man. He's a good kid and good player, and he's just got to think better and make better decisions out there on the field.
Well, sometimes, as you guys know, when you're up front in the heat of the battle, a little push, a little shove, a little, this, that, and the other goes on, and sometimes one guy gets caught, and it wasn't always the guy that started it.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, then South Point dives at your ankles every offensive play, so you get kind of irritated at it.
So after you get chopped at your knee or hit at your ankle for about an hour and a half, it gets a little bit irritating.
Yeah, you get a little frustrated because they're always down there. They don't go nowhere. So
yeah, and he was right there in the middle
tonight, guys.
Of the field.
Great show. Some good plug to Springmore, Dennis.
Yeah.
We won the Pee Wee Championship last year.
Yeah.
So that's 4 in a row. We're going for 5 this year in the midgets. We all move up to midgets this year. So we got a midget team. We've been working since August 1st. So it's them kids have been working hard.
Well, I heard the only thing that could hold them back from a championship was coaching.
Well, that's probably true, Dennis. I'm not going to disagree. They win despite the coaches. Is that good?
That'll work. But don't let Dennis do it like
so
that.
they're great kids, and they're doing great right now. So hopefully we can get number 5 this year, and keep it rolling and get some more future Chargers ready to come up.
Well, that's what we appreciate about it, Trey. And you know that the way that you build a sustainable program is to do exactly what you and the coaches over at Springmore are doing. That's teach the kids, teach them how to play, and teach them how to play correctly. And then when they come through the system, like your son, and he's, did well at the junior high school level, and then he gets over there as a freshman, and he can step right in and start playing some JV ball. And if they need him for some reason later on in the season, you can bring those kids up and give them some experience, and you can trust them to do what's right because they've been coached to do what's right.
Yeah, that's the good thing about Springmore. I'm not just single them out, but I know a lot of coaches around the county do it the right way. But I've been with Springmore for I don't know how long. I've had 2 kids come through, and we absolutely do it the right way as far as coaches. And we coach them the right way. We try to. So we want them to be successful. We try to get them to play at the next level, get them ready for middle school. The midgets are getting ready to go to middle school, and we're trying to get them ready for it. So. The middle school gets them ready to go to the JV and varsity and so forth. So, it's a good program, and we're excited about this year coming up, and we're going to try to take care of some business this year.
Well, Trey, keep us informed what the Bulldogs are doing over there at Springmore Elementary.
I will. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, Trey. Hey,
Thank you for calling.
tell my boy Nick I said hello, and I hope he have a great season this year.
I will. Appreciate it.
All right, folks.
All right, thank you.
Well, let's take a little break here. Got a caller. Okay, who we got?
It's the Burns Bulldog himself, Mr. Tom Setafani.
Really?
Tommy, you there?
Tom. Earth to Tom. Earth to Tom.
Hello? You there?
Yeah, we're here.
Tom? I don't know. I guess.
Whoa.
I guess we don't have Tom.
Tom will call back. Matt, we'll give an update of the scores. We'll take it away.
All right, we have Lincoln and Cramerton going to resume Monday at 6 p.m. They're tied in the third quarter, 7-7. South Point goes down to Crest and takes a little bit of a beating. Crest wins that game 13-7. Kings Mountains all over Burns, 34-6. Shelby all over Freedom, 41-13.
Oh, and by the way, the quarterback up there at Morganton Freedom, Birchfield, is going to Navy. So, Shelby didn't just run over anybody.
He's going D1, and he's going to run the triple option D1.
Okay. Meanwhile, Will.
Highland Tech falls to East Burke, 41-6. Let's see, I got a computer in my way now.
Yeah, I couldn't see those. That's why I called on you.
North Buncombe over Patton, 62-20. Chase over Bessemer City.
Would you repeat that for Kevin, please?
Chase over Bessemer City, 28-10.
Kevin, did you get that? The new scoreboard.
Chase over Bessemer City, 28-10.
We couldn't hear you, Kevin.
Newton Conover over Bunker Hill, 44-14. East Rutherford and the Bond Burner, 50. They lose to West Henderson, 56-42.
Defensive struggle, huh?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I think we got Tom on. Let's see, Tom, you there?
Okay, yeah, we'll break.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, guys.
Take it away, my man.
Sorry, I got to get away from my dogs here. I'm at home.
Wait a minute. Who let the dogs out?
Yeah, it was not a good night for Burns as Kings Mountain won 34-6. Burns never really in it especially after the second quarter, but it's a dominant performance. I know we like to talk about pace hour, but the quarterback they have now, Reed, who transferred in, just really throws an excellent deep ball. I was really impressed with him. Their backup running back, Adams and Bishop, they're that behind Mack. No Raquel Mack tonight, but didn't really matter as they had a number of ball carriers who could carry it. But their defense was very strong. I thought very up front, their front four just dominated the line of scrimmage. Kewan Pryor was bottled up pretty much all day. I think Burns had maybe 1 or 2 first downs in the whole second half, and one of those was on a roughing the passer penalty. So Kings Mountain looked very strong on both sides of the ball.
three of their five touchdowns, Pacehour had big plays. First one, he didn't score the touchdown, had a 39-yard pass play. Second touchdown, he had a 30-yard pass reception. And then in the second half, their last touchdown was a 46-yard pass reception. So you can't say enough things about Pacehour. And as I said, Reed coming in, they haven't dropped off at all at quarterback.
Well, Tom, actually, I think you can not feel too bad about this, even though the score is not that good. Kings Mountain is a contender for a 3A state title this year because of all the people that you've talked about. They're loaded up, and as a result of that, they're going to give a lot of teams trouble and could be state champions possibly if the rematch of Catholic comes through for them. But Burns, you're going to be okay in that 2A conference. When you hit conference play, that's going to improve things, I think, for Burns this year.
I think one of the things Burns has to be the most concerned about is their depth. They got a couple of guys nicked up in the jamboree, and especially one of their offensive linemen, and a lot of their offensive linemen are also playing defensive line. So if one of those goes down, they're in trouble on both sides of the ball. So they've only got 33 players. I wish they had a little bit more depth, but it is what it is, and you can't really say enough about Kings Mountain that they better look out in that Big South Conference because they are good on both sides of the ball. I mean, offense gets talked about too much, I think, but that Kings Mountain defense, as they get into conference play, those schools over in Gaston County and Crest and some of the others better be ready for a really, really good defense.
Well, Tom, we appreciate your insight on that. We think that Burns is going to be okay once you guys get into the 2A conference schedule. Of course, Shelby.
Once we got to get a little traction in the running game, and the running game is the bread and butter of their attack. And Pryor never really got anything going, and Hopper had maybe a couple first downs, but really couldn't get anything consistent. And they really could not get their passing game set up by their running game. And Sweezy, our quarterback, struggled a little bit tonight. Did have one touchdown pass to KJ Leslie, and that at that time made it 13-6, but never really got any real traction. But moving forward, they do have Asheville next week, and they've got a number of games to get to before they really get into that conference play. And when they do get into conference play, can't forget about Shelby, can't forget about South Point. So they're going to face some good teams there. Some other teams maybe not as good as what they saw tonight, but they've got to get some things straightened out on the offensive side of the ball. And I feel confident they'll work on it and they'll be ready for Asheville next week.
Well, Tom, we were talking about it with my good friend Richard Walker over in the press box tonight, and the thing about Burns going to the 2A level. Let's just worst case scenario. You finish behind Shelby, you finish behind South Point. You're the third place team. All right, you've won the Podunk Conference up somewhere up in the mountains, and you got Burns coming in. I would be very concerned about that because Burns has got speed, they've got the ability to throw the ball. I think once you guys get into the playoff routine, no matter where you finish in the conference, that you guys can be successful.
Yeah, that's looking down the road. That's a long way off. I mean,
It'll be here before you know
I want
it,
to see
Tommy.
it get a little bit better here in this non-conference play, just to give them some confidence. And I do feel that they size up against a lot of the 2A competition, but just to get their confidence back. Hopefully a good game next week. They're going to come home to Ron Green Stadium and be able to take on Asheville at home. So back to the drawing board this week, but hopefully get things straightened out and get back in the win column next week.
I might actually have to come over there, Will, and see Tom and Matt call that game and watch the Bulldogs and just see how good they can potentially be against Asheville.
All right, and see if we can get Hopper and Pryor back on the trail of running the ball, because I feel like when they're producing up front, when they're Hopper smashing up front and getting the 2 and 3 yards, and you bounce Pryor outside, and they can get the rolling that way. That opens up the pass game, so you can get to those other weapons that you have, those receivers, and go through that receiving board. So guys can't hang their heads down. They played probably one of the number one teams in the state tonight. So nothing to hang your head down about. Kings Mountain's a very good ball club on both sides of the ball, so nothing to hang your head down about. And let's regroup. It ain't how the game ended tonight. It's how you recover from the game tonight.
Yeah, I did feel they gave good, solid defensive effort for the rest of the game, and never let up. You know, they never let up and continued to play hard. And if one name stands out in my mind, Austin Setzer had a couple tackles for loss, a sack, and he and a lot of others on the defense did not let up and did not lay down. So I mean, that's a good sign to see. Really on both sides of the ball, just did not just throw in the towel. They continue to fight and play hard, and that'll give them something to build on for next week. And then hopefully we can get things turned around.
Well, Tom, I can say one thing about Burns. Win or lose, they have some outstanding cheerleaders down there.
Oh, yes, they have one outstanding senior cheerleader. Actually, they got a bunch of outstanding senior cheerleaders, I should say. But Anna had a good time. She's in bed right now getting ready for the SAT tomorrow morning. So wish her luck on that.
I remember those days.
Well, good luck, Hannah, with the SAT.
So do I. It's getting a little foggier as the years go by, but we appreciate shout-out for our cheerleading squad.
Very good. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate your call. I'll see you next week over at Ron Green Stadium.
All right, appreciate it. Good night, guys.
Good night.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back after this. You're watching the Renaldo Scoreboard Show on KTC Broadcasting.
Is your car's windshield cracking you up? Well, you may need to see the windshield doctor. That's Carolina Auto Glass, located at 408 South Post Road in Shelby. Carolina Auto Glass goes the distance to ensure your safety and satisfaction. And they will handle all of your insurance claims too. Plus, free on-site estimates are available, and they do work on sunroofs. Just call 704-480-1885 for Carolina Auto Glass, 408 South Post Road in Shelby. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. That's Carolina Auto Glass of Shelby. The hot days of summer bring you red-hot deals at Classic Ford Lincoln in Shelby. Right now, get $2,000 cash back on the Ford F-50, the Ford Super Duty truck, or the Ford Expedition. Get $1,250 cash back on the Ford Escape, the Ford Edge, the Explorer, or the Ford Ranger. And $750 cash back on most other models. And drive the new 2019 Ford Mustang and get 0% financing for 72 months. Come in for all the details and save big during the Red Hot Summer Sale at Classic Ford Lincoln, 1775 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby on the Classic Corner.
Former club members Denzel Washington and Jennifer Lopez for the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future.
You can change a child's future. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
You can open doors for children to have great futures at the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland County. Visit us at 412 West Sumter Street or at greatfutures.org.
Hey, fall cleanup time is just around the corner. Be ready this year with a stop at Cleveland Lumber Company in Shelby. Check out their lines of leaf blowers by Weed Eater, Black & Decker, and the Makita X2 leaf blower. Buy the Makita X2 leaf blower now and get 4 free 50 AH batteries. That's a $240 value. Gas or electric weed eaters start at only $61.99. Plus, get your rakes and shovels too at Cleveland Lumber Company, located at 217 Airwood Street in Shelby. Enjoy the taste of the fair. This is the theme of this year's 2019 Cleveland County Fair, set for September 26th through October 6th. Come and enjoy the flavors of the fair in the best way possible, celebrating 95 years. It's fun for the whole family. Ride Offer shows will be back with more rides than ever. Enjoy 2 big nights of the Demolition Derby, and pig racing returns this year to the Cleveland County Fair. So make plans now to bring the family out for a taste of the fair. The 2019 Cleveland County Fair, September 26th through October 6th. For more information, call 704-487-0651 or go online at clevelandcountyfair.com.
And welcome back to the Renaldo Automo Post Game Show with 2 of them. Kevin's working.
2 of 'em.
So
2 of them.
Hey, you the other one.
I'm the other one.
hey, I called you the man, the myth, the legend a few minutes ago. I mean, ain't my fault. Y'all didn't hear it. So,
I appreciate it. I heard you when you said that earlier.
There you
Hey,
go.
everybody, we're back. We got some scores. Terry's been working hard on some scores, and I'm going to go through the scores. I don't know if we got another call coming in, but I'm going to go through the scores again, and I'm just going to update some of the new ones. I'm going to start on the outside over here. For Pine Lake Prep, 46-0 over Quality School, Quality Education Academy. Dutch Fort, 27, Mallet Creek 27 there in the fourth quarter. Then have had 3 lightning delays. South Caldwell. South Caldwell 60, West Caldwell 7, Alexander Central 28, High Brighton 19. How about that?
High Brighton ain't what they used to be,
Oh, it looked like the horse done ran out of ponies.
Yeah.
Providence Day 10, Mountain Island Charter 0, and they're in the fourth quarter.
All right, Chris, I'll get them boys cranked up over there.
West Lincoln, West Lincoln will come back. West Lincoln 52, Drone 13.
Terry said this is the year of the rebel. The South will rise.
The South will rise again.
Or in this case, the West.
With the West will rise again. Mayton 48, Fred T. Ford 24. North Gaston and East Gaston are locked up in a battle in the fourth quarter, tied at 14.
Really? East Gaston must be better than we thought.
RS Central is won tonight 20 over McDowell to 12.
20 to 12.
20 to 12 over McDowell. We got West Henderson 56, East Rutherford 42. That's Northwest Cabarrus 41. Forest View 3, and they're in the fourth quarter in that game. We got Newton Conover 44 and Bunker Hill 14. Bandy's is beating St. Stephen's 29 to 15. They're in the fourth quarter of that game. Big score tonight. Chase comes away with a victory, 28 over Bessemer City, 28 to 10. Move around. Kevin, we're gonna have to do something about this computer.
Yeah.
North Buncombe 62, Patton 20. We got Highland East Burt over Highland Tech 41 to 6. Lincolnton and Stuart Kramer, they played yesterday. They stopped the game in the third quarter. They tied at 7. That game will resume on Monday at 6 o'clock. We got Crest over South Point 13 to 7. Kings Mountain over Burns 34 to 6. Shelby over Freedom 41 to 13. And look like Cherryville is taking over the game in the fourth quarter as they're up 43 to 20 over Christ the King.
All
that's
right.
all I had.
Go Ironman. Kevin Hastings' old school along with Bessemer City. You can't have one win tonight, Kevin. You can't get 2. Go Ironman.
Huh? Okay, well we got Bobby on the line. Bobby, where you at, brother?
Hey, right here.
All right.
What about them Shelby Golden Lions?
How about them Shelby Golden Lions?
I was asking Steve Degree if you went to the game tonight. He didn't see you. Were you there tonight, Bobby?
Well, Steve Degree was right. I have a situation where I just could not make it tonight. I've been, I'm not ashamed to tell you, I've been sort of dealing with some slight health issues, but I'm just so glad that I'm back on my feet now, and I've been planning to be there next week. I had hoped, I was looking forward to going to Freedom tonight, but something told me I better just wait and make sure that everything's going to be all right, because I've been dealing with a slight medical situation. But I just want to just say that I'm so proud of my Shelby Golden Lions. I do go out there and watch them practice a lot and sit and watch them. and they look real good. And I'm just so proud of my Lions. They got a lot of offensive weapons, and our defense finally rose to the occasion and played well tonight. And by the way, while I'm saying that, Shelby's just they're very competitive, and I've noticed that they just doing everything that they should do as far as winning the football game, and they played well tonight especially.
Well, it looks like it's going to be another good year for the Lions, even though, you got some tough non-conference games, and you may win or lose one of those. But the thing for you guys is the conference standings in that 2A division. And let's face it, you guys have dominated that 2A conference and the 2A state playoffs for the last 6 years, Bobby.
Yeah, and it could happen again. I noticed that they're much seem like to me. I don't know what anybody else said the way I look at it, but they probably are one of the best teams I've seen in a few years. Well, several years, as a matter of fact. They execute and they're doing everything that they still have a few things that they need to work on. Of course,
sure.
Freedom, I had a couple. They scored on a couple of penalties tonight, but nevertheless, I'm pretty sure that Coach Will Banks is going to work on that and get that straightened out. But from what I see, the way they've been practicing, they're really working hard, and they're going to give a lot of teams a lot of trouble this year. And they just seem like a different team from last year, even though they won the state. And I'm just very proud of the coaching. The coaches is doing a spectacular job. And I want to commend Clay Husky and Isaiah Betts and all of them for a fine job. I did listen to the game on the radio from the start to the finish, and I just wish I could have been there, as I said earlier. But I just hope they keep on, and the team is real healthy. I'm just proud of my Golden Lions, and I wouldn't be surprised if we went undefeated this year. It wouldn't surprise me a bit, but they are really looking good.
Well, Bobby, I hope you win every game but that one game in about 2 weeks. Yeah.
Well, there's one thing for sure. They're not going to back off. It doesn't matter whether they're playing Crest, Burns, Kings Mountain, or anybody. They're going to play the same way all the way through the season, and I look forward to them doing it. And hoping there's no injuries. But I was so happy to hear that Crest won tonight, and I know Burns is going to pull through, and Kings Mountain is going to be real strong this year.
Well, our job as teams that are non-conference for Shelby is to get you guys ready for the playoffs and give you some strong competition and show you the rest of the people out there what Cleveland County football is all about.
That's right.
Well, I praise Coach Will Banks for the fine job. I talked to him down at the field house just the other day, and he says all sickness is clicking, and I just hope they'll keep it up all the way through the season.
Well, Bobby, I think you're going to be okay this year, and we look forward to hearing from you when the Shelby Golden Lions are adding another victory to their total.
All right. Well, y'all just, we just think, we're just so glad that y'all back on the radio again with us again, and we just all going to have a good season. Hope all our Cleveland County schools teams will do great this year.
Well, Bobby, we appreciate your call, and keep us informed on the lines between you and Steve Gree. We've always got somebody we can count on to keep us informed as to what's going on with the lines that week. Thank you very much.
And you got it right, and we'll see you later.
We'll see you later, Bobby. I'm gonna have a talk with you about that undefeated season here after a while. I ain't gonna talk about it right now.
Just get him to give you some piano lessons. You ever heard Bobby play?
Oh yeah,
he is good.
Oh, I grew
man.
up listening to Bobby play. Yeah. Hey, we got Joel from Kings Mountain. Joel, where you at?
Is Joel in the house?
That ain't. That's a ringtone.
Yeah, well, that cleaned the wax out of my ear.
JP.
Yeah.
I don't know what you done in there, but you lost my good buddy Joel.
Yeah, he'll be calling back. Unfortunately, we did it the wrong way, so he will. Okay, so I hit the wrong button. All right. Most likely he'll call back.
I think Kevin just asked you for that mouse in your pocket.
Hey, look, Kevin couldn't remember who was on the phone, so it ain't my fault.
All right. So I see we getting some update, and my man Terry is working hard to getting us in on these updates. If our announcers that haven't got to call in, I know y'all still calling some games right now. I think Cherryville is still playing.
Milton and Danny, if you got a final on that, give us a call.
Somebody give us a call in. And I think we got Joel back. Joel, you there, buddy?
Yeah.
How you doing, Joel? So your Kings Mountain Mounties mounted up and ran down the Bulldogs tonight.
Yeah, I didn't get there till like right at second quarter because I was coming from work, but I was basically watching the game on my way to work on the YouTube thing, and then I got the rest of it all from the second quarter all the way through the fourth. I'm just they just got to clean up a little bit, but other than that, they was all around tonight. And just one little turnover kind of hurt them tonight. And just set up that one touchdown for Burns, even though we looked like we was about to shut it down. And that one little pass play got through. But other than that, I was proud of Kings Mountain tonight.
Well,
Joel, and I'm like Santa Fani. I ain't seen a front four like that in a long time.
Well, Joel, Mac did not play tonight. Could you give us an update on what his situation is?
I heard he's going to at least be maybe 2 weeks out because the way somebody talked about it, he's not in football shape from, I think he had like an off-season surgery.
Oh, okay.
And they said he's just not in football shape, and they said it'd be at least 2 weeks.
Well, that's better than going in there when you're not in shape and getting injured and being out for the year.
Yeah.
Well, y'all got a young
Other
man
than
in
that, the three guys, especially Marquise Adams, they stepping in there and getting us first down when we needed them.
Yeah, y'all got a kid in the backfield, Adams, that is tough, low kid. He is a transfer. He came from the Shelby area. I've known the kid for a long time. We call him Porky now. I don't know what y'all call him over there.
Yeah, we didn't know who he was at first because he didn't have his reason. He didn't have the note like on the thing. It said he's number one, and he was wearing a 27 or something like that. At first, we didn't know who he was.
Yeah. Hey, he's playing, but good to see him step up and step out of the shadows and step in when he needs to step in. It's good to see him playing good ball out there. It's some exciting stuff happening over there at Kings Mountain. You're getting a new field down. I think I seen them laying the turf down on Facebook the other day.
There's
any reports on how long?
There's a little small taste been at Gardner Webb's turf, and we just can't wait to see our new field.
Do y'all have any idea how much longer it's going to be before your field is down?
I'm not good at guessing that because I ain't really talked to the Kings Mountain Club yet, and I hope it'll be ready for the next home game.
Well, I think it will be. You play away next week, Joel, and I think the turf is down, but you got to go mark it and line it. Put the Kings Mountain logos on it and all this kind of stuff. And that'll take a little bit of while. But if the rain holds off, you should have that ready for your first home game. That's actually at home.
Yeah, we're looking forward for that home game, but we're just taking it one game at a time because we're going to a tough house next week. We're going to Monroe.
Yep, that's a tough house.
And even though they moved up to 3A, they was kind of down last year with 6 and 7. That's usually not a Monroe team. They usually win by 8 or 9, 10 games a season.
Well, those Hawks are a tough out. Doesn't matter what division they're playing in.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, I was just impressed. I don't think I was worrying about it because how we got burnt last year by Pryor and a little bit of Hopper last year. This year, and that front four, they was ready for him this year, and it impressed me.
Well, I'm glad to know that you were impressed, Joel, and we'll invite you to come by any time and visit with us after the games.
All right. Y'all have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Joel. Our sometimes visitor to the studio.
He used to come
Yeah.
every Friday. Now he sometime comes in. Oh, we have anybody else on, JP?
No, that was it.
All right, so I'm gonna go with the scores that we have as of right now. We got the Lincoln Stuart Kramer game has been postponed. Well, not that will resume Monday at 6. They're in the third quarter. That game is tied up at 7 apiece. Crest over South Point tonight, 13-7. Kings Mountain over. We just talked to Joel. Kings Mountain over Burns tonight, 34-6. Shelby over Freedom tonight, 41-13. Cherryville is winning that ball game. Is that game over yet? Cherryville was in the lead, 43-20 in the fourth quarter. Is that a final? That is a final. Terry gave me a good final on that. We got North Buncombe over Patton, 62-20. Community School of Davidson's over North Moore have been postponed. South Lake Christian, Lake Norman Charter has been postponed. And we got East Burke over Highland Tech, 41-6. Chase over Bessemer City, 21-10. Bandies over St. Stephen's, 36-15. Newton County over Bunker Hill, 44-14. Northwest Cabarrus over Forest View, 41-3. East Rutherford, West Henderson over East Rutherford, 56-42. Providence Day over Mountain Island Charter, 17-0. West Lincoln over Drone, 52-13. Mayton over Ford, 48-24. North Gaston, I think they're still playing. North Gaston over East Gaston are winning right now, 21-14 in the fourth quarter. RS Central over McDowell, 20-12. Pine Lake Prep, 46. Quality Education Academy.
Fighting Pharaohs.
The Fighting Pharaohs, 0. They didn't fight too good tonight.
Why do they
Pharaoh.
All right, that's nobody on the screen, folks. That's our board up.
Okay.
You remember the old song?
Why do teams put the word fighting?
Because the Fighting Irish.
Why can't they just be the Irish?
Well,
or the Pharaohs?
what always bothered me was the Fighting Christians. Isn't that contradictory?
No, because the Christians back in the day during the
according to the Bible, there were some.
The Christians were fighters.
Yeah, very true.
Ask the Canaanites.
Well, Will, I have a message.
Ask anybody who went up against the Israelites.
Right. So, we've got a few games. Are we about done? Is it full now? Where's Terry?
Well, I do have one message, Will. Our fan club
Terry
is watching on the internet because they sent a message for me to tell Kevin and Terry to stop walking in front of the camera. It's really distracting. They can't see you and me.
That's not.
I like your fan club. We appreciate you out there.
Terry,
the gist of that,
especially with that North Carolina State shirt on.
The gist of that message, Terry, is 2 people are working and other 2 people are sitting around eating food.
It makes you think, do I have any fans?
Will y'all quit walking in front of the 2 people that are working?
Yeah, they wouldn't know what to do. We'll just leave it blank, Terry.
That would just leave us the option of talking football.
Terry's got to record a scoreboard, overnight scoreboard, in just a few minutes. Terry, you about ready to join us? I think the board's full, boss. Cherryville's the only thing on right now, right?
Dutch Fork and Mallard Creek.
That's what I'm talking about. Do what? Have Cherryville? Well, Cherryville's going to join us in just a minute. I got to go check on that. Guys, give the score. Let's take a break. Get reorganized. We almost have. Show's almost over. We just got started, but it was a late night tonight, folks.
All right, so let me finish where I don't have but a few to run down before we go to break. Dutch Fort, Mallet Creek is locked up in the fourth quarter, 27-27. South Caldwell over West Caldwell, 60-7. Alexander Central with the win over High Brighton tonight, 28-19. That's all the scores that we have right now. We ran through all the scores. If you got my break ready, we're going to break. We got somebody on the phone.
No, we're ready to go to break.
All right. So we're going to take a small break. We're going to come back. We're going to hopefully have the rest of the scores for tonight. We're going to discuss a little football. Thank you for tuning in to the Renaldo Scoreboard Show on KTC Broadcast.
I'm sure by now you've heard about the excellent auto body repair at Crash's Collision Center on West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. After all, Crash's Collision Center, they've been putting bodies back in shape for over 25 years. But now there's more. It's custom graphics. They do it all, from signs and banners to vehicle and race car wraps, plus vehicle magnets and lettering too. That's Crash's Collision Center, and now custom graphics. 3719 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at crashesinc.com. The Creekside Clock Restaurant in Shelby takes its time to welcome all the American Legion Baseball World Series teams to Shelby and Cleveland County. We wish all of you good luck. Check out their specials like ribeye or New York Strip USDA Choice Angus 10-ounce steak. Hand-cut daily and served at your choice of one side and Texas toast. Get 2 for $22. And enjoy their Saturday morning breakfast buffet from 8 till 11 a.m. And their weekend buffet, Friday and Saturday 5 to 8, Sundays 11 to 2. It's all you can eat at the Creekside Clock Restaurant, 1025 Kaiser Street, right off Highway 74 East in Shelby. Before you head out to the game, head into the Creekside Clock Restaurant in Shelby. Hey, check out the great specials like ribeye or New York Strip USDA Choice Angus 10-ounce steak. And cut daily and served at your choice of one side and Texas toast. Get 2 for $22. And enjoy their Saturday morning breakfast buffet from 8 till 11 a.m. and their weekend buffet, Friday and Saturday evenings from 5 to 8, Sundays from 11 to 2. It's all you can eat. That's the Creekside Clock Restaurant, 1025 Kaiser Street, right off Highway 74 East in Shelby. Denny's in Shelby has just been remodeled, and they invite you to come on in and take a look. And while you're there, try the Meat Lovers Grand Slam. If you love meat, then Denny's has a home run of a deal. With a Meat Lovers Slam, you get 2 eggs, 2 pancakes, 3 bacon strips, and 3 sausage links, all for only $5.99. Just ask for the Meat Lovers Grand Slam at Denny's, 2025 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, open 24 hours a day and free Wi-Fi too.
And we're back with the Renaldo Automobile post-game show. I didn't really say that well that time,
That's
but hey.
not bad, JP.
Ronaldo.
There you go.
Yeah,
Right, guys,
you gotta do it like Steve Robay.
First week of the season. Thanks for watching live on YouTube, folks. We had 2 games this week, live video on YouTube. We had 1 audio on YouTube, Shelby Golden Lions at Freedom. Folks, we wonder why we do this team or why we do that team we broadcast. First of all, we cover the teams that want us to cover the teams, and we do the ones. Some schools don't allow video,
and some charge out the wazoo.
Some charge out the wazoo for even radio. So, for example, Burke County charges 3 times what the state of North Carolina requires in the playoffs. So, but the good news is if you go to Burke, which I doubt we'll have to go to Burke for a playoff game, but
based on
maybe
what we
somebody
saw
might have to
tonight.
go to Freedom at some point. But even if you did, the good news is the state of North Carolina, they can't triple charge us for that. So anyway, we go to the schools that want us there. We broadcast the schools by the rules the state gives us. So if we're not doing your school, there is some sort of a reason for that. Not that we don't like you. We've got 18 teams we cover, and the 2, 4, 6. We got about 40 we got on the board that we talk about. Dennis.
I may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but if you're at one of these schools and you had a network like KTC that offered to come in and video your game and broadcast it on YouTube where your alumni could see it if they were in Fiji Islands, as Lewis used to say, or if they were serving in the armed forces in Iraq, why, Kevin? You don't have to answer this, but why would they not want to get exposure for their players?
I did have 2 callers from Shelby fans tonight that were this was their first game in a long, long time that they weren't actually go to game, and both of them are due to health reasons. So, they were wondering if we were
as Bobby mentioned,
if we had the video. He's actually the 3rd person now that I say that. You know, that too. You know, you get out to there and they want to watch, and we try to bring as many games. We're going to probably bring you of the 11, 12 games weeks the teams play. We'll probably have about 8 or 9 of them on video on each one of them. So we'll have all the Cleveland County teams. If there's a few away games here and there, we won't be able to bring you.
And if they're on YouTube, can't they bring those up later in the week?
Yeah, you can rewatch
Can't
them.
see it on Friday night. Can't stay up
Got a
late.
final, Terry. Do we need to record the thing? Do I need to come in here and hit re-record on that? Do we do just whatever? You don't care. All right. Terry didn't care. All right. Tomorrow morning, folks, if you're watching right now, tomorrow morning, don't forget the best sports talk show around the area. Terry Reinhardt, myself, Hunter Yancey, and Tom Cinefani will be here. JP will be running the board in the morning. Tomorrow morning, we'll have Mitchum's Kitchen Sports Talk. On Saturday mornings, we talk about high school sports. We talk about baseball, basketball,
I think that's
football.
where the food's at, Will. Is on
Mitchum's Kitchen is our Saturday morning breakfast sponsor and our pregame meal sponsor. Right now, if you're watching online,
if you're watching online,
Will's
I'm
eating
telling
late
you,
night
we are,
sagebrush.
Sagebrush has hooked up the Renaldo post game show, Renaldo scoreboard show.
Yep. Sagebrush of Shelby provided us with some grilled chicken. Is that grilled chicken?
Chicken and peppers.
Chicken
I
and
believe is the word,
peppers.
lady. And some garlic mashed potatoes.
The mashed potatoes. JP,
They were fantastic.
I like the mashed potatoes.
The thing is, if we leave them in here 100 in the morning, y'all don't know. Y'all ever met a skinny kid that just can't ever get full?
I got one
That's
at the
Hunter.
house.
You got one.
His name is Quincy Boy.
That's how
I
you
got
are.
one at the house.
In the words of Cher, it ain't you, babe.
He don't weigh 150 pounds soaking wet.
I had a roommate in college that was like that. He would eat a value meal. Him and his girlfriend would go to a steakhouse every Wednesday night. So they would go to Sagebrush on Wednesday nights to get steak. He wouldn't tell her about it. He would get a value meal for a mid-afternoon snack.
Okay.
This is before they went and got the 3-course meal, including the dessert and everything. Wait, $1.40, Will. Mid-afternoon value meal snack. But anyway,
I live with one of those guys.
I've never had that.
Yeah, I know, right? But we want to thank all of our food sponsors. It helps out a lot for our broadcast. We've got a ton of broadcasters. We've got about 25, 30 guys that are out and about at all of our broadcasts and our games and stuff covering these, and our food sponsors help feed us, so we always want to thank them. Mitchum's Kitchen and Sagebrush this year for supplying all the food for us.
And the
pregame and our
Cleveland County
postgames.
Fair is coming up, Kevin, and that is the gourmet delight over there.
I tell you what, they gonna have pig racing. They gonna have pig racing at the Cleveland County Fair.
Am I the only one who doesn't like the fair?
Oh, God.
Probably.
All right, we ain't got time
Okay.
for all this. All right, we got 3 minutes. All right, folks. Time to we're going to give the scores in just a few minutes, finish up the show. You can watch on YouTube every Friday night. So we're going to try to get into it, folks. If you're at a game or you know someone, you got a highlight of a player, you can send it to us, email it to us, tweet us. We're going to try to put some of them on the post-game show on YouTube. Of course, you can't watch on the radio for you folks listening right now. But we're going to do our best to try to maybe put some highlights and stuff and include some highlights in KTC.
I got a face for radio.
Face for radio. A lot of people get hired on 2 things: the face for radio and availability is the best ability. So there's 2 things you can be qualified for. Will. So tomorrow morning, Saturday Sports Talk. Next week we've got games on KTC. Let me give you the games real quick for next week. Burns will be hosting Asheville. You can watch that live on YouTube.
Burns.
Crest will be hosting TC Roberson. You can watch that live.
Are they hosting or are they away?
I've got hosting.
Okay.
Crest.
If it's at Crest, it'll be on live on YouTube. You can watch it. If it's at TC, you can only listen to it. But I've got it down as a home game.
Crest.
Kings Mountain will be at Monroe. Still waiting back on to see if we hear back about that. Should be a good game though. Now I was talking to Coach Greg Lloyd this week. Had the interview with him. And he was mentioning how, including their home games now, even some of the road games they're playing out on AstroTurf, like Stuart Kramer, they played tonight. So I think he said 8 or 9 of their games this year are going to be on AstroTurf. So they're going to be on turf the whole time this year. for most of the year for Kings Mountain. I was there the other day. They had the one end zone in. I haven't been back since. I don't know the progress since. They may have had the whole thing done by now.
I seen it on Facebook. They were about over halfway.
Are they? Okay. So excited news about that. We'll have, I think, South Point at Lincoln next week.
Yeah, and they were talking about that game tonight. Now, based on South Point's performance tonight and Lincoln's performance in the Jamboree, Lincoln's getting better. So this will be a big test for them.
North Lincoln host East Rutherford. We will not have coverage of that. I think we'll have the South Point Lincoln game. And then Cherryville next week will be at Chase. Chase tonight and Cherryville both winners tonight. So that should be a good matchup next week between the Trojans and the Ironmen. And we'll talk to Tim Pruitt about that in the morning. He'll give us a call in the morning. Coaches, if you got an off week, especially if you got an off week, you can come into the show, join us here at the desk.
We'll feed you.
We'll feed you sagebrush on Friday nights.
Not real
if you come into the if you come in to the pregame show, we'll feed you Mitchum's Kitchen. So either way, coaches, when you got an off week or a bye week, feel free to come in, bring an assistant, bring a player. We'll sit here and feed them and ask them questions, won't we, Will?
That's right. And since you keep going to your pregame, you keep mentioning your pregame show.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention our show on Wednesday night on WLON.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
We do a little sports show from 5 to 7, 5 to 6.
With Tim and Ken.
With Tim and Ken.
You're doing that now,
Will's
I did
doing
not
it.
know that. Wow.
Yeah, I was listening the other day. Y'all had a pretty fun time. Demery Brewer joined you guys. I heard you talk to Will Byrne. I tell you who's funny, and I didn't realize it as much, and I've talked to him a few times on the show, folks. East Lincoln coach David Lubowitz. I was rolling listening on the radio to Coach Lubowitz. Coach Lubowitz, you come in here on Friday nights. I know you guys had the bye week this week, but come in on a Saturday morning or something. That was fun listening to him talk to the other coaches and stuff. Well, but we got to go. Just a minute, Dennis. Let's wrap it up. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just trying to tell you, Kevin, you had mentioned to JP about a certain time.
Oh, yeah, I know. We'll see. JP, it's that time, buddy. All right, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, real quick, before you hit the button, JP, I got one more. We're not going to get into the power poll this week since it's week one, and we had all these postponements and stuff, so I'm going to wait till next week. We'll do the fuzzy math on it and talk about that.
Let's wait till about week 15.
Are we gonna do any opinions on the power?
No, the opinions were that Kings Mountain was 1, Shelby 2, Crest 3, Burns 4, South Point 5 was our top 5 on an opinion poll. The finish from last year, Shelby, of course, finished with the state champions. Kings Mountain 2, Huss 3, Bandy's 4, Thomas Jefferson 5. All right, JP, hit it. We're going to give you the scores, and that'll be it for the night, folks.
All right, scores for tonight. Lincoln and Stuart Tramer will resume Monday at 6 p.m. They're locked up in the third quarter at 7. Crest over South Point 13-7. Kings Mountain over Burns 34-6. Shelby over Freedom 41-13. Cherryville over Christ the King 43-20.
North Lincoln
Saturday at 6. East Burke over Highland Tech 41-6. North Buncombe over Patton 62-20. Chase over Bessemer City 28-10. Bandy's over St. Stephen's, Bandy's over St. Stephen's 36-15. Newton Con over Bunker Hill 44-14. Northwest Cabarrus over Forest View 41-3. West Henderson over East Rutherford 56-42. RS Central over McDowell 20-12.
And Will, that wraps up another week of high school football on the road.
We're done with the first week. On to number 2.
1 down and 15 to go.
Let's get it.
Let's do it. We'll be here next week. Tune in to the Renaldo post-game show.
4 receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end, so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score 6, 6 scoreboard, that score 6. Respect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw picks.